Good morning. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about two has become one. So let's go. The book of Mark 10 verse 6 to 9 says, but from the beginning of the creation of, the earth, God made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. And in Matthew 19:5, it says, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. You find the same thing in Ephesians 5:31, So God's definition of marriage can be found also in Genesis 2:24. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. In the Bible, the Hebrew word basar is often translated as flesh. But however it is interpreted, it always refers to the physical part of humanity. So what does it mean then that a man and a woman become one flesh? Not forsaking intimacy in your marriage is the meaning of the two shall become one flesh. It goes further to mean one in agenda, one in goal, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. So you are in unison. You are in oneness, both of you. It does not mean that you are not your own person, but that you are in unity in all these areas. You are one, you are open to one another. Nothing hidden, caring deeply for one another, and desiring the ultimate good for your spouse in ministry, in business, in their job and career. Oh, how I wish this could be the case in every relationship in marriage. But it can be when first of all God is in the center of your union. We read in Ecclesiastes 4:12, the B part of it, it says, and a threefold cord is not easily broken. A threefold cord. That is when you have God in the midst of you and your spouse. Secondly, you have made up your mind, this is forever. It is not a trial and error thing, And thirdly, you are seeking the help of the Holy Spirit daily to lead, guide, and help you. Fourthly, you are loving your spouse with agape love and preferring him or her to yourself. When you both work as one, you achieve more. You achieve more when you work as one. So the most obvious way that two can become one is through sex. This is borne out in 1 Corinthians 6:16, when Paul says, even a man with a prostitute becomes one flesh with her. The act of sex is a manifestation of one flesh, physically, and a metaphor for the other ways a married couple joins together. This is why it's so important who you have intimacy with. It's not just your flesh that is involved, but your soul as well. Soul ties are difficult to break. It leads to comparing your spouse with whoever you have, whoever you have had intimacy with in the past. It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. That was Friedrich Nietzsche. He said that. He says it's not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. I will say further, it is not the lack of love, but the lack of unconditional love that makes unhappy marriages. Unconditional love has to do with agapeo love, the kind of love that God has for us. You know, you give all. I don't have enough time to go much into agapeo love today, but we will talk about that some other time. Being friends before marriage helps your relationship. You are at ease with one another. You make each other laugh and enjoy the company of one another, which is one of the reasons God instituted marriage. Men want companionship in a relationship, someone they can talk to, who will encourage them, be their cheerleader, someone to come home to. Women, on the other hand, want someone to love and pamper them, be a father and mother to them. A mother loves unconditionally, while a father pampers and provides for his family. At the initial stage of courtship in marriage, couples spend quality time together. In fact, they sneak out and create time to be with one another, with the person they love. They're on the phone all day and all night. As time progresses, after they have said I do and all that, work, activities, and interests prevents spending quality time together. The lack of time is part of modern life, and couples are struggling to plan their time effectively and make time for one another. In many cases, this is masking more fundamental problems. As a married person, gone are the days when you take off, every weekend with your friends for all-night parties. If any of that is happening now, your spouse has to come along. And if he's not the type that likes too many parties, adjustment has to be made. Marriage is about compromise. You don't leave one behind. You have to compromise. Because two has now become one, it is no longer I, but we. This is difficult as you hear couples who have been married for long periods of time still say, my children, my car, my house. It's supposed to be our children, our house, our car, but people still use my whatever. It is important to know that when you get married, you need to act differently than a single person. Everything that you do will not just affect yourself, but also your spouse, because you are one. When you are a single person, you can have your own goals, ambitions, visions, etc. When you get married, you need to mesh those visions and goals with the visions and goals of your spouse. Now you have to have a vision for you as a couple and not just as an individual. It is essential that you have things in common. It's like the glue that holds you together. Things that you share together, that you are happy doing together. It's better for you to have all those. As the goals and visions of the husband is important to be actualized, so also that of the wife. Many times you hear men say, I'm the breadwinner. in this house. So your dreams are not that important. You know, they are referring to the wife now. It's not so. Her dreams are important as well. To have a state of well-being and self-actualization for both partners, it is advised, as you become successful as a husband, encourage your wife in her dreams and aspirations in life, no matter how small you think they are. And who knows, it might turn out to be big. Help her to achieve those dreams. In 1 Corinthians 7:32 and 33, I want you to be free from the concern of this life. An unmarried man can spend his time doing the Lord's work and thinking how to please Him. But a married man has to think about his earthly responsibilities and how to please his wife. You see, in order to please your wife, husband, you need to know their temperament and personality trait. This you can find out from a licensed, faith-based temperament counselor through systems and profiles that are applied to both spouses. When you know the temperament needs of your spouse, you are better able to understand them and meet those needs. Is your spouse a choleric? Is she sanguine? Is she phlegmatic? Is she a melancholy or supine? You know, these are things you have to find out about your spouse. That will explain their behavior and temperament most of the time. And once you know these things, it's easier. When she's behaving funny, you know why she's doing what she's doing. You know. So having separate dreams and goals can sometimes tear apart a marriage. It is okay to have things that you personally want to accomplish, but your spouse should support you in it. Two has become one. Having separate goals can lead you in separate directions. It is as if you had a car with two steering wheels and you were both driving it. If you both drive the same way, you will be fine. You know, be able to do more and achieve your goal faster. But if you try to drive one way and your spouse was trying to drive the other way, you will either not be going anywhere or you will crash, and you don't want that. So you have to work together. It is very helpful when you can share a vision together. Then you can both work hard to get it done. It's easier. You know, you get more done. You get things done faster. It will be extra hard to fulfill that vision if your spouse is not with you or is fighting you on it. So you have to understand your spouse, and, you know, patience is required to allow your spouse buy into your dream or vision. You know, you have your dreams. You know what you want to do. You have to share this with your spouse, and then they have to buy into the vision. So it is very important to make sure you are on the same page as your spouse and are working together to achieve your goals. When you speak with one voice, have one goal, are in unity together, you know, in unity, body, soul, and spirit, then two has become one. God bless you. We'll talk again some other time. And don't forget to subscribe and then press the like button. That will help a great deal. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.